What's up guys? Welcome to AnimeKouhai. If you'd like to help me out, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
Well then, what do you want? I have to gauge how dangerous your abilities are.
Has Faust, my ultimate skill, passed your test?
Isn't it analytical in nature? Your assaults don't seem to have more force, but your accuracy is greatly improved. You got your magic under control mostly thanks to Faust, didn't it?
That's true. I already have more magicule force than you do. Therefore I don't need any more. All that matters is that I hit you with it.
At the response, Vegrynd grinned.
You're smarter than I imagined. You undoubtedly possess something that I don't. That's why I'd like to include you as a trump card. You'd be a powerful tool in our arsenal.
When my sister compliments me, my back starts to itch.
While responding jokingly, Veldora observed a shift in the energy surrounding Vegrynd. With those words,
I think you deserve a reward for that. I'll demonstrate my abilities to you.
There's no need for—
Allow me to unleash the full force of my ultimate skill regel, Lord of Relief. Be ready!
Vegrynd was unable to hear Veldora's passionate request. It would be unimaginable to lose because you didn't employ all of your abilities. Despite the intense exchange, there was little damage on any side. Due to this, Vegrynd made the decision to use all of her resources against Veldora, while, of course, taking care to avoid killing the latter. As a result of numerous partially summoned replications, a massive array of magic circles suddenly appeared all around her.
Take this!
11 light beams, each produced using the nuclear cannon skill, were fired toward Veldora's direction. He thought for a bit and then decided to use magic barrier to destroy them all. There were too many rays to avoid, and he wasted valuable time by thinking of them as simple magic strikes. As soon as he realized how dangerous these cannon rounds were to him, he put up the barrier. Veldora felt a severe pain. He had failed to stop the assault.
You're really more intelligent now, don't you think? You only sustained that much harm, which rather impresses me.
I had no idea you also applied your ultimate skill to your magic. I wouldn't survive if I took a full hit.
I was planning to end it right now. You should be happy with who you are.
Although I appreciate it, I'll reserve my pride for when I've defeated you.
Veldora responded by casting the storm magic spell Ruinous Tempest. It effectively sent Vegrynd flying when combined with the ultimate skill, a trick he stole from Vegrynd.
Your thoughts, my sister? We may call it quits now if you've learned your lesson.
Don't give that to me. I think you just angered me.
Wait. No.
Vegrynd lost it. Playtime for her was over. She lost all composure when she realized how hurt she was by his attack. Now that her sisterly pride was in jeopardy, she planned to regain it with her subsequent assault. She was surrounded by 10 heads, and 11 scorching flumes of breath were directed at Veldora. She moved into position above Veldora at the same time by means of teleportation. While dodging the complex strike, her adversary discovered that he was exposed as he turned to face her and assessed her. Although he was impressed by the way she moved, he secretly smiled a little when he realized Vegrynd was now putting up a fierce battle against him.
I was powerless against you before, but look at me now. That's probably due to Rimuru training, but what a beautiful day.
He didn't mind basking in the happiness for a while, but he was aware that he was still in danger. He thought about getting away. On the other side, Vegrynd was pleased to have caught Veldora at what she perceived to be lethal range. She felt confident he would be unable to flee from her at this point.
Let's wrap this up, Veldora. You can't really get away from me, after all.
Vegrynd declared, showering burning breaths down from above. It continued to flow down and transformed into a pillar of flame that linked heaven and earth. It would have appeared like a cage of flame from the outside. Veldora danced in a frenzy, becoming increasingly fierce. He wasn't fooling about either, he was anticipating and dodging all of the attacks. Veldora didn't believe it was hard to keep up with the attacks despite their rapid and violent nature. He trusted his instincts and launched his massive form through the air. As a result, he managed to survive without taking any direct hits while being encircled by this cage of flame.
If you can't strike me with it, it won't work.
Using a quote from a manga he revered as a sacred text, Veldora yelled with joy. In the meantime, Vegrynd made a disgusted tongue click. She hadn't expected to miss on him without getting even a single hit. She clearly underestimated him.
But this is where my assault really starts.
Her distinct advantage was still present, so she made the decision to showcase an untapped skill.
I'm genuinely astonished by how well you were able to see through my attacks. I will send you a scorching hug as a reward. Burning embrace!
It was important to be in the position above Veldora. He was standing on molten ground that was bubbling with scalding lava caused by the burning breath Veldora tried to avoid. A terrifying amount of heat was contained in even the tiniest droplets that were shooting upward from below.
What would more heat do to this burning hell? Sister, hold on.
Sensing that intent, it was too late to panic. Veldora was already a victim of Vegrynd's trap. The ground boiled and gasified under Vegrynd's excessive assault. The area around Veldora was engulfed in extremely hot lava. That is the bloody lava, the minuscule droplets that were filled with Vegrynd's power, flowing from bottom to top. The cardinal cage that Veldora was kept in was finished. Charity, or more specifically, support, was the core of Vegrynd's ultimate skill, Charity King Regule. The increase in effect, enhancement, was the skill's genuine value, and for Vegrynd, whose nature is acceleration, this was its most synergistic ability. What would occur if Vegrynd used her power on the cardinal cage, then? The object's speed would significantly rise, and the heat would likewise be increased to its highest level. It's no surprise that the bloody lava converted to gas, reaching temperatures in the tens of thousands of degrees rather than 2,000. The scorching prison was built in this way, but its actual potential lay elsewhere. There was no upper limit to how much Vegrynd may raise her support effect. In other words, offering the right amount of support might be good, but going beyond would only add unnecessary burden. The detrimental effects of such extensive support surges accelerated the subject's physical weariness. The effect could be amplified to the point where the target's heat caused them to burn to ashes. In other words, Regule bestowed upon her the ability to control all of the world's energy at will. The delicate coating that the Scarlet Rain had produced encircled Veldora. Everyone who is caught in a burning embrace automatically signs their fate over to Vegrynd, and a true dragon was no exception. There was no way out of the cage once someone was inside. As a result, Vegrynd was going to tell Veldora that she had won, but she stopped herself. What's happening? She started to feel anxious, which was unusual for her. She quickly turned around when she felt someone behind her.
Did I not say it earlier? It makes no difference if it doesn't hit me.
It was Veldora in human form, smugly celebrating his victory. His laugh had a high-pitched ring that hurt Vegrynd's eardrums. She didn't genuinely, sincerely realize Veldora was a deadly threat until that point. Veldora may have been using his laughter to agitate her opponent as much as possible, but it didn't give him the right to remain still. Although he was upset over having his clothes burned, he later recognized that he and his sister were very different in terms of power. After a certain point, he completely turned his attention to defense since he believed that his chances of winning a legitimate fight were slim. Hinata loved to approach fight in precisely this manner. When she noticed an opening in her adversary, she would strike, taking care not to get hit fatally while she waited. When she was ready, she would finish the fight after choosing the best maneuver to use. He saw that when he had battled Hinata, she appeared to be familiar with all of his combat techniques. He had the physical strength to easily defeat her when they battled on floor 100, but after she traveled through time, the hero Chronoa crushed him.
Well, it makes sense. She had never battled me before, but she was familiar with all of my moves and habits. That has always struck me as weird.
Although Veldora perceived it as cheating, he was aware that admitting as much would make him appear to be a sore loser. He hated to think about Hinata's smug expression, but a loss was a loss. However, he learned a valuable lesson from the encounter and gained some understanding of how to deal with a stronger foe. In addition, when he practiced fighting the demons, he figured out how to enhance his strategy by using cunning. If his opponent ran out of energy before he did, even if he couldn't win on his own merits, he could still win. That was the way spiritual life forms engaged in combat, and Veldora had now mastered it. He was given a new perspective as a result of it. He witnessed Rimuru's way of life and became interested in a variety of things as a result. Veldora had always been naturally curious, and now that he had expanded his perspective, he was thinking in ways he had never thought before. He may have developed personally as a result of the beneficial impacts that followed. The effects were now being seen in the war with Vegrynd. Now that he had learned how to avoid losing, he was using it. Vegrynd launched her burning embrace in the midst of that. Once Vegrynd seized him, her victory was certain. The ensuing cage of flame was intended to kill as soon as it was finished. When Predict Danger, a component of his ultimate skill Faust, kicked in, it was too late for Veldora to understand that it was a trap because he was trying so hard to evade her burning breath. It recently saved Veldora's life since he kept it always activated so nothing would ever take him by surprise. He knew something horrible was about to happen because it gave him a warning that was more foreboding than any he had ever seen before. He realized that constantly avoiding attacks would lead to his demise, which made him feel dizzy to the core. However, even if he sought to confront this threat, there was no way to do so if he didn't even understand what it was. Then the bloody lava started to surge up from below. Only then did Veldora understand Velgryn's goal, but by this time, things had become more challenging. It was clear that he couldn't destroy it with Ruinous Tempest. He couldn't utilize spatial transport to flee because Velgryn's dominate space was covering the entire area. Oh no, he exclaimed. However, Investigate Truth, another aspect of Faust, quickly offered the best solution. So long as Velgryn's will was in the bloody lava, it was dangerous to touch it. It wouldn't be simple to avoid this volcanic mist, but even if a big dragon couldn't do it, a human body might be able to. It required giving up almost all defensive measures, but it was at least plausible that he could maneuver through this onslaught in that way. But even so, it effectively amounted to a coin toss. If he timed it correctly, he would be alright, but a single failure would mean the end. Although Veldora wasn't really sure about this, he suddenly knew that he was guaranteed to succeed. It only required turning on control probability, another Faust skill. Unexpectedly, using this skill allowed one to influence outcomes when against opponents of the same rank or lower. It came as a surprise to Veldora because, in essence, it doubled his chances of succeeding in his escape. Previously, there was a 50% probability that it would be successful. It was already decided. Despite his skepticism, it seemed a little too convenient. He changed back to his human form and made an attempt to break out of the cage. Veldora was then no longer in danger after another instant. Vegrynd felt her composure slipping as she glanced at the beaming Veldora. How had Veldora changed so much over the years when she always thought of him as the younger, weaker, and more bothersome brother? She mistakenly thought of him as a bully, a bull in a china shop. Amazingly, he had just managed to escape from a circumstance that was completely irreversible. He had achieved an ultimate skill to the point that he could even challenge her. She believed she would be giving him some lessons today, but she now understands that her conceit had made her blind. Veldora had attained the same heights as her, as much as she loathed to accept it. Now she saw him as a comparable foe, if not a superior one. A cool assessment of the circumstance would show that Vegrynd was in a disadvantageous position. She had just used one of her most powerful hidden techniques, but it had failed. All of her minor moves could be avoided, and inflicting a fatal wound would be difficult.
Hey anime fans! Episode 11 of Solo Leveling is now live on Anime Fans Narration. Dive into Jinwoo's latest action-packed adventure filled with intense battles and epic moments. Don't miss out. Watch it now and subscribe for more exciting episodes.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel. Shout out to the new members of AnimeKouhai supporters: Jerry Sladek, William Locke, Jordan Mersha, Jay Magsino, Reckrel17, Bismarck Munoz, Ryan Booker, Saagar Kotecha, Kamal Luke, Izat. Thank you so much for helping out. I'll see you guys in the next video.